Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. We're back here with some more Star Citizen, hanging out in the hangar module once again. We're going to do a couple things today. We're going to take a look at the upgraded cutlass, the new and improved, I guess you could say, additions that CIG has made to it in the last hangar batch. And we're also going to talk about the idea of MMOs. I really want to expand on this thought, and I think Star Citizen is a great example of what I'm going to discuss, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the new abilities, the new things we can do with the cutlass while it's inside of our hangar module. So the first being, there are now two ways to enter the cutlass. The back door is now closed by default, but if we walk up to here, and we go ahead and we hit this big blue button, we can now open the rear cargo door, and we can run ourselves inside. We can also lay in the bed, you can sit on the toilet, which I'm not going to do. If we come over here, we can open up this door. Boop. We can come in here. I believe this closes the door. Let's see there. Yes, 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 yes. And then we can also finally make use of the human deployment hatch, as I'm now calling it. Because like I said, I mean, there's two ways you can make use of this. One, throw people out of the hatch when they piss you off. Or just because you feel like throwing them out of the hatch. So, you know, they're just standing there and you're just like, oh. And then you sit down and you hit the wrong button. Alright, let's try that again. So they're just standing there and you come over and you smack the button. And it slowly opens and they fall to their death. Or, you know, you landed on top of an Idris and you're assaulting it, so you climb out, you break out your torch and you start cutting a hole through the hull, and then you infiltrate. Straight up pirate spec ops. The other ability we now have too, we can actually enter the cockpit through here with this nice folding ladder. So we'll climb up here. Climb the ladder. You want to climb the ladder. As always though, still alpha here guys, and some things just don't like to work for some reason. It's actually kind of, oh there we go. Alright, there it is. So we can climb up onto the wing, we can actually get a look at the livery for the ship. Which, I forget the name of this one, but, you know, it's like we got like the crazy bird here, and then, of course, we can climb inside. There is actually now glass here as well, I believe, which I didn't actually know the last time I did a Cutlass video, that there wasn't glass on the windows. Somebody actually told me that, and I was like, really, no? But there is, in fact, glass. We can climb into the back seat as well, and have a look around. So, just some small tweaks to the Cutlass, you know, making buttons work on the ships now is something that CIG was kind of doing at that patch. They also updated the Freelancer. Maybe we'll take a look at that a little bit later. But I wanted to get to the core topic that I wanted to discuss, and that is the MMO. Okay? Because over the years, you know, obviously World of Warcraft has been one of the most popular MMOs, just period. But the fact is, as much as I enjoyed my time with World of Warcraft and games similar to it, I guess we'll say, I know Guild Wars is very different. Just recently I got to play WildStar. Again, those were all MMOs that I have enjoyed a lot, because they're nice places to be. But in terms of actually being an RPG, an MMO RPG, they're actually really poor at it if you stop and think about it. Now, in all three of those types of MMOs, as much as they tell you it's a role-playing game, you're forced to do combat with every single class. There is no way to succeed or to progress in Guild Wars or World of Warcraft. I guess you could in World of Warcraft. There's no really core or interesting way, I guess you could say, to progress in either of those games without engaging in combat. That is what people live for in World of Warcraft. And endgame dungeons, you know, that is what the game focuses around. And that is not a true RPG. If we go back to things like Ultima Online, Star Wars Galaxies, where you could actually make a living in the game by being a bard, you know, by singing songs for people, by being someone who crafts things, and that could actually be your profession as well as the way that you experience the game from start to end. That doesn't really exist in MMOs like World of Warcraft or Guild Wars or even WildStar. They've gone down this completely different path, and they've actually limited what we can do in an RPG setting so much. And when you think about that, that's depressing, you know? It's actually sad. And then when you look at things that are coming out now, like Shroud of the Avatar, that are focusing on just, you know, the greater aspects of a role-playing game. Everything isn't just combat. There's politics and there's trading. And, you know, Star Citizen is also one of those experiences planning to do that exact same thing. You're going to be able to play Star Citizen without ever firing a round if you don't want to. You know, hell, you can even pay somebody else to do it for you. You can be a trader, you can be a miner, you know, you don't have to engage in combat to progress inside of Star Citizen. And I think it's one of the games, along Shroud of the Avatar, we could even throw Elite Dangerous into there, that is coming back in 2014 and 2015, reclaiming what it means to be an RPG with online capabilities. You know, I think we need to get back to those roots. I think World of Warcraft has definitely killed the MMO in that aspect, and that's why when people say MMO to me and then they say, you know, Star Citizen's MMO, I don't like to make that comparison, because the name MMO, the term MMO, has been just so muddied and altered by games like World of Warcraft. Now, I'm not taking a shot at World of Warcraft or Guild Wars or WildStar, but, you know, they have set the bar, they've set the standard, the format for what a MMO is. So everyone follows that. I think developers, and publishers as well, when they set out to make these MMOs, they forget about the past. They forget about Ultima Online, Star Wars Galaxies. They forget about these games, the original EverQuest, that helped birth the MMORPG and make it what it was. And instead they focus on a completely different setting because they're just convinced that that's what people want to play. But the fact is, that's why a lot of these MMOs fail, you know? We're sick of the theme park, you know, mentality. Which I will gladly say, that is why I enjoyed Guild Wars 2. That's why I enjoyed what I've played of WildStar, is because they're nice places to be. They do nice touches in combat here and there, but they're nice places to be. I'm not going to say that I enjoy them, because I got to go into the game and, you know, make a living as a hunter selling my pelts to people for a living, or as a bard playing music for people in bars for a living. You know, none of those experiences exist in any of those games. And that's sad. That is sad. I think that's why so many people enjoyed something like Star Wars Galaxy. Every time I talk to somebody about Star Wars Galaxies, you know, there was a bunch of people right now in the organization that have played it, that tell me so much about it. I've also heard so much about it in the past from the guild I was in when I played Rift, and it just seemed like, you know, that was the roots, you know, there. It was one of the games who still remember what it was like to be an actual role-playing game. So Star Citizen is definitely one of those experiences, you know, as much as it isn't going to function like the standard MMO in the way that we interact with other players. It is going to be an MMO, there's going to be other people in the same universe as us playing together, and it's going to have those strong core RPG aspects that MMOs of the past have been missing, you know. We're going to be able to be miners, like I said, and be, you know, you can be a gun runner. I mean, you could be somebody who transports guns and goods, but never actually shoots them. You know, you don't have to kill things to progress. It's just, it has become the core of every single MMO experience over the last, like, 10 years. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's terrible. Why should I be forced to do combat? Why is that every single class and profession that I pick, the way they make the living is to kill things? That's what the army's for. That's what the military is for inside of these games, you know? I shouldn't be forced to do those things. I shouldn't be forced to go out, slay 10 rabbits and bring back the pelts. It's stupid. It's ridiculous when you think about it. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever that is still the way that a lot of these MMOs are crafted. Yet, they exist. And, you know, I think a lot of that does come down to World of Warcraft and its success. And people look at that format, and rather than trying to do something new, they do that. So I'm going to have links to all of the good games, the great RPGs that I've mentioned that I think are going to be happening this year in the description below. Check them out. There's going to be a link to Elite, a link to Star Citizen, obviously, a link to Shroud of the Avatar. I also have a link to the wiki page for Star Wars Galaxy. If you have no idea what that game is, go check it out. I'll try and find some good footage too from YouTube to kind of showcase what the game was like. So those of you younger folks, I guess you could say, even people around my age who never got to experience those games, can take a look and see what they were all about and understand what I mean when I say, you know, what it's like to be able to progress in an MMO RPG without having to kill things, without having to just, like, be concerned constantly about your DPS and how much damage you do. Can I take on those guys? Can I kill that? You know, it's stupid. And I'm really glad we have games like Star Citizen again, Shroud of the Avatar, that are going to be, you know, bringing back what it means to be a role-playing game, you know? We don't have to always role-play the damage guy, you know, the person who does damage on the side. You know, you can be someone who sucks at flying ships in combat and sucks at first-person shooting, and you will be able to have a good time at Star Citizen. You will be able to progress. You will make money and be successful, and even, you know, become known in the universe without being some sort of a crazy ace pilot. And I think that is what helps make Star Citizen one of the most special games of 2014 as well as 2015. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts on the MMO, you know, how you look at Star Citizen, and all those concepts that I mentioned, you know, the idea of being forced to do combat in MMO. I really want to hear your opinion, especially those of you who have been playing MMOs for the past 10 years like myself. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.